have copied and pasted that policy for their state employees.
Yeah. This is a subject that, again, that's why I think it'd be good to have Josh maybe come on at some point and talk a little more about it with his experience. But he was telling me, so first of all, the first thing he said this, but I think it's a good point. If they outlaw in the U.S., right, they just make it so that you can't use a U.S. IP to run your stuff through, right? Could TikTokers just get a VPN and still create content? Sure. And could you still get a VPN and use it? That's the first thought I have is, there's still going to be, if anyone's worried that like TikTok, you won't be able to access it, it's like, well, you can get use VPN. And by the way, check out a link down below for NordVPN in case you want to get ahead of the game with NordVPN. But the second thought is this. So we've all been told now that TikTok is a threat via the Chinese government to kind of get in and hack our phones, because we all know there's nothing more that China would like to do than get the inside information into a 13-year-old girl's brain, and that's how they're going to exploit the United States and take over. But ultimately, there's something – I want him to talk more about this. However, remember months ago when there was a huge deal in Congress and there was a huge, like they were asking a bunch of questions and there was TikTok was in the news and there was a lot of crackdowns happening. I don't know the exact details, but something about it, there's a certain portion of TikTok that now is controlled completely 100% by the U.S. government, by actually what's happening in Texas. And the truth is, it's not China you have to worry about using TikTok to potentially find inside information. It's actually the U.S. government. And a lot of the political harassment and manipulation has happened post the United States getting their hands in there. So ultimately, when I'm hearing these stories, and this is what Josh is kind of referencing, it's almost like the American government keeps wanting to say China's using it to manipulate when China's really not doing much to anything at all. In fact, you can find some of the most Chinese
CCP
propaganda on CCP stuff on TikTok. Is the anti-American stuff you can't find. Wouldn't China allow anti-American or anti-politics? Wouldn't they allow that stuff to continue to run? I'm wondering if this is a place so that the American government can have 100% control. That's ultimately what they're voting on. They're saying that the Chinese stakeholders have to give up their control. Who are they giving up to? They're giving up to the Americans. If this is such a dangerous tool, the ultimate ploy that they're actually trying to use is getting it to where the United States can use it instead of anybody else.
Yeah, it's possible. Look, it's possible. I think that the U.S. has a couple of different tricks up their sleeve to be able to monitor global, online traffic. Some of those tricks.
You really got to monitor those 13-year-old girls. You really got to know what they're into.
Some of those tricks go by the name of Google and Amazon and Meta, actually, which kind of brings me, Caleb. What is your take here? Just from a trade standpoint, is there money to be made with this headline?
I don't know. I think the thing that I'm most interested here, I have the Meta chart up right now on my screen. I feel like if TikTok was going away, and that means that advertisers in the U.S. could not market their products on TikTok to U.S. customers, meaning that they would have to transition that ad spend over to Meta, over to Instagram, over to Reels, so on and so forth. Wouldn't Meta's stock be up today instead of being down 0.9%? I know today's a little bit of a nasty day. It's not nasty, but I know the indexes are down in the U.S. today. But I would imagine even